it's Jen with Astrology. Welcome to the channel. Being that it's June, I decided that we would talk about love. So, with so many weddings coming up, it's wedding season. Last week we talked about, is this the right time to get married? And today we're going to be talking about compatibility and seeing compatibility in birth charts of couples or just any kind of two people or any kind of couple. So first what you want to do is you want to go to a website that you can get your chart. So you can go to astro.com. You want to put in your birth date, place, and time, and you can print out that chart, pull it up on your screen, and then if you have a significant other or somebody that you want to compare charts to, you want to do the same thing with theirs. So, if it's somebody new on the down low, you want to just say, oh, where were you born? About what time were you born? Are you an early morning baby? So maybe they'll give you that information, not know what you're doing. You can kind of sneak it, or just ask them. Maybe they'll be interested in it. So again, you want to have the birth time, place, and date, of course. And why you need to have the time in particular is so you can see where things fall in the chart and what houses they fall in. So if you don't go to astro.com, you can always contact me at at gmail.com or at my website at astrotastrology.net, and I can make up a chart for you. I can, even if you really request it, I can give you a little mini reading, compatibility reading, if you send me the information for the two of you. So we're going to get started, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the little bell so we can continue doing a little bit of love this month and finding out all sorts of things love related and compatibility related. So again, we're going to get your charts up. We have a couple of sample ones that we're going to use today, and then we're going to talk about what you want to look for and the things that kind of point out compatibility in the charts. So first what you want to do is print your charts out. So we're going to start with two charts that I have here. Now I know they're a little bit small, but I'm going to explain what they are as we go. So this is a couple that is together. So we're going to see if they have some matching traits, compatibility wise, to see if, is this relationship going to make it? So when you're looking at the individual charts, you always want to look at the moon. So the moon represents your wants and needs. So the way that you love, how you nurture people, the way that you care for people, and the way that you yourself want to be cared for. So the moon is very important, that you have similar moon signs, or not similar even signs, but similar traits. So you want to look at the modality, which would be, is it a mutable sign, is it a cardinal sign, and is it a fixed sign? So cardinal, fixed, mutable. And then you want to look at the elements also, which is earth, fire, water, and air. So we're going to look at these two charts, and first thing we're going to look at is see where the moon is. So we have in the first chart here, this is the female. So again, I think I said in the prior video, you can use this same with same-sex couples, as because somebody's always a little more dominant in the masculine side and someone's a little more dominant in the feminine side. So you can still use this as the same in same-sex couples as you do in heterosexual couples. So in this chart we look at the moon first, and we have the moon in Taurus. And then in this chart, we have the moon in Virgo. So that is two earth signs. So when you have two signs in the same element, they do get along. So when you think of earth, these two people have a good foundation. They're kind of have similar morals. They each kind of are grounded people, and they like kind of thinking things through before they really get started. With the earth signs, so one is a fixed earth and one is a mutable earth. So This one, it's a earth sign, but it might be a little more kind of go with the flow, finishing kind of. And this in Taurus is kind of a slow and steady. So this one being fixed, it wants to have a long-term relationship. It doesn't want, all different kinds of relationships. It doesn't like starting new ones. It likes to be in one. So this person, I would suspect, is probably going to be happy in a long-term relationship. In the mutable signs, that can be similar because this is in a earth sign. It's a grounded sign, and where it might be a little particular, where it might, it sometimes, it's not starting new relationship all the time where a cardinal sign might, but it's good with the long lasting at the end. Kind of like, it might take them a little bit to get there, but they're going to get there, and, it could be good lasting. They're good, like a cleanup crew, kind of, almost, this is a couple that is, together later, a little bit later in life. So that's kind of a good sign that maybe it took a little bit for this person to kind of find the right person and really settle down. So the other things you always want to look at is the sun signs. So the suns, they should, again, you want them in similar modalities. So so we'll talk a little bit about, the different elements first. So if you have a couple in earth, again, if you have similar, you have, they could be, they have a good foundation. They know how to start things, but they can be a little too complacent. They could be a little boring. If you have, if you think of those signs, they're not the super most outgoing, like the fire signs. They're a little more subdued. They're, more of the complacent kind of signs, more focused on, the substance as not as much as the fun and that type of thing. So in that, the relationship could get a little bit boring at times. But if you have, and it's the same with anything, similar modalities or similar elements could be great, but too much of a good thing, again, always could be too much. So then we have the water signs. Water signs can understand each other's emotions. They'll be more compassionate to each other when one's emotional. They'll be able to nurture them. Water signs are all nurturing. They like to get to the problem, and they want to solve the problem. They want to help. So if you have two water signs together, again, maybe the emotion will be a little bit too much. Maybe someone will be too needy and the other one's needy, and they won't be meeting each other's needs because they'll maybe want to feel their own needs, or maybe they'll be too overbearing with trying to take care of the other person. You mix one of them with, say, a fire sign. The fire sign might be like, I can't deal with this, let's just go. Fire is, they're fiery, they're outgoing, passionate. They might not want to deal with all this emotion, it might be a little bit too much. You put fire with earth, it might, with earth, it's a little bit different of a dynamic because it might stimulate that earth, and it might get it going, and it might, kind of, stir up that flame a little bit that the earth kind of has, subdued because they're, very focused, and they're, work related and more work based and not as much of the fun based. So we move on to air. So air, two airs together, great problem solvers. They, they can think alike, they can have great conversation, great at talking with each other. They might get a little bit too much, too airy, too flaky. You stick a earth sign in there, they can really work well with each other. This couple here is, it's got the sun in a air sign, or an air sign, which is Libra, and then it has a sun, the man has a sun in Capricorn. So this couple is really good at working together. You know, this one does, you know, a lot of the thinking, and this one makes it happen. He happens to be in construction, so, you know, doing the thinking, and, you know, here's my idea, and it just pops off the top of my head. Well, he makes it come to life. So that's how those could work together. Also, the earth kind of will take the whimsical and kind of, you know, that airiness of the air signs and kind of bring them down to earth. It kind of is what's holding the string of the balloon. So it's holding them down, so they're not just up here in the clouds just thinking and ideas and all over the place, because that's what air signs can do. So then we have fire. So if you have two fire signs, that can be really great. That could be so passionate. They have high passion, but they can also have the most intense fights. So everything they do is passionate. So you have two passionates coming at each other, and you know, I've known two Sagittarians that have been together, and they were either completely in love one moment, and then the next moment they were crazy fighting with each other, and never was a calm, just sitting around watching TV moment between these two. It was always intense to be in the middle of them. So, of course, that couple didn't end up making it, but one of those fire signs went on to couple up with a earth sign. So that earth kind of, you know, subdues. If you think about earth and fire, the earth kind of puts a little bit of dirt on the fire to kind of smolder it a little bit, so it's not quite so intense. So it kind of brings it down, kind of controls the fire, kind of reins it in a little bit. So you can see how these signs working together can work well, where, you know, some don't really work well. You have an air, and if you even look at, if you're good with your aspects, so if you have 90 degrees, so that's 1, 2, 3 apart. So you can see that, you know, this is all cardinal signs. So if you're, say you're starting here, or on the big chart, let's look. So the cardinal signs are at the 4 angular places, so, or the cardinal places. So if you're a cardinal sign, you are either Aries, which is fire, water, Cancer, air, Libra, and Capricorn, which is earth. So they can get along, but again, because they're both cardinal, it might be a little bit too, you know, this one wants to start something, this one wants to start something, they start something, and yet nothing ever gets finished. So, you know, you got to add a little bit of fixed and a little bit of mutable in there to kind of bring it all together. So if you have two fixed signs, say I have another couple here that I was going to use as a example. So when you have this couple here, so the man in this couple is this one over here, and he's got his rising sign in Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. He's got Leo sun, which is another fixed sign, and he's got the moon in Aries. So looking at this right off the bat, I can tell he's very fixed personality. He doesn't like a lot of change. He likes kind of, you know, he lives by complacency. He likes that. It might be hard to get him out of his routine, even though he, you know, this moon in Aries, he might want to do something else, but his two fixed signs are kind of keeping him from making the moves to do that. He doesn't really have anything, you know, in the mutable signs, so he's good at, you know, maybe getting things started. He wants to start things, and he's good at being in a relationship, so he's good long term. Finishing, you know, he might not be as good. So, you know, he might not be good with breakups. So hopefully this guy and this girl won't be breaking up anytime soon. He's very fixed, so he likes a steady relationship. You can see with his moon in Aries, he actively is giving of love. He actively wants to put as much into the relationship as possible. He puts a lot of effort towards loving the person that he's with. But that Aries in there with the moon might cause him to get a little bit moody, might cause him to kind of speak out of turn, speak without thinking, say things that might be a little harsh at times. So that's something, you just kind of want to look at. So if this person knows he has a tendency to that because of what's in his chart, then she's aware and she's, I'm just going to let him blow off steam. I'm going to go shopping. So then we look over at this chart. So she's got her ascendant in Virgo. She's got her moon in Cancer, and she's got her sun in Sagittarius. So that's a double mutable sign. This girl is not settled by any means. So she takes his fixicity, is that a word? Well, it is now. She takes that from him and pulls him out of his comfort zone. She's like, nope, you're doing this. And knowing this couple, she has gotten him and pushed him to do things that are way outside his comfort zone, and she just keeps doing it, and then he's happy, oh nope, I'm good here and this is where I'm good, and then nope, I'm pushing you further. So this is a good dynamic because this one pushes this one out of his comfort zone, so complacency is not an option with her. Then she's got her moon up here in Cancer. She's a very caring person. She's a kind person. I know how good she is with her pets. She's good with him. She's very loving. She loves her family. She's, always putting people first and putting their needs. She's very good to other people. She's a very, caring, loving person. So she's got a little water in there. His rising sign is also in a water sign. So see the compatibility here where they're both nurturing. They both want to take care of each other. They both want to fulfill the other's needs because they're in the water sign. So they're very caring. They want to get to the root of the other one's problem. They want to help the problem. The Virgo is a earth sign where this one, he doesn't really have much earth, so he does have the fixed signs but no real earthy grounding, which she gives, kind of like that stability that he needs to really find that long-term forever person. And then of course the Sagittarian in her is she knows what she wants. She knows, especially with this being in her fourth house, her home life, she might not easily be happy in one place. She might like moving from place to place. You look at his home life, he does have Aquarius there. So, an unconventional, way of living might be okay for him, if they move around a lot or something like that. He doesn't really have a lot of planets in there. The ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, so that is right here in the 5th house. In Pisces, that's actually where Saturn is right now. He's about to be hitting his Saturn return pretty soon. That whole nother video we can get into. It's a type of maturity. It's earning what you've worked for your entire life. This couple is actually getting married pretty soon, and that is actually the chart that we used last week with the compatibility chart, or not the compatibility chart, the wedding chart, and if it was going to work. So looking at all these different things, it looks like this couple is going to work. So our last one that we have, and we're going to go through this one really quick, so we're keeping this as a little short video. It's so nice outside. I want you guys to stop watching videos and get outside, but watch the videos first. And of course, like and subscribe, don't forget. So these two are a brother and sister. So we went through his chart and we showed what they have. So this one, the sister, we have ascendant in Cancer. His ascendant is in Scorpio. So, both water signs. So that should be, they're caring, they're, deep down. So then we have her sun is in Sagittarius. So I guess he attracts these Sagittarians to himself. So she's also, not one that just likes to be held down. If you look in her seventh house, this is chock full. So she is all over the place. She's got Mercury, Mars, Venus, Neptune, and Uranus. So she has, the relationship's close. She's, they probably are, passionate. She likes to have relationships that are, good conversation, that someone she can talk to. And then we have, Neptune in there. She might fall for the wrong people. She might see people with rose-colored glasses, somebody that's might not be the best for her. And sometimes her relationships are unconventional. But it's in Capricorn. So deep down, she wants to have that marital or that, that person that's going to be there. She wants to have that foundation. Cancer's up here in the ninth house. So, it's working towards that. It's learning about, different ways that she can have a solid relationship when, a concrete relationship where, marriage is probably not her thing. It's probably not something that is remotely anything she's interested in. So these two, when it comes to that thought, are very different. He's getting married. She'll probably never want to get married. You look at the other aspects in here that she's got. We have, Libra is where her moon is. So she's thinking, her brain's all over the place. She, with her moon being in Libra, she tries to see both sides, but with that sun over here in Sagittarius, it's kind of like, here's my thing, and I'm going to listen to your side, but I'm going to tell you why your side's wrong and why my side's right. So, that's kind of how, and if you knew her, that's exactly how she is. So these two, you can see how even if these are brother and sister, they're raised together, they can be very different. And it all is really how the chart's laid out. They're going to, look for different things in life. As far as, even in the family and home, she's got that in a cardinal house. So that is, she could be, always looking at things and always, fantasizing about where she wants to go. She might want a more active kind of setting, where his is in Aquarius, that's Saturn. He might want a little more subdued. He might, this is the way you should live. And, with Aquarius, it's about putting rules on things and putting laws on things, that you find, oh, this is the way I want it. This is the way it's going to be. So again, knowing these two people, it's pretty much exact. So, other things that you want to kind of look at is just the way the chart looks in general. You want to look at, where most of the planets are. Now, hers here are on kind of this outwardly, this is like, she's very outgoing, extroverted. If you look at his planets, most of them are in this side. He's got them kind of all over the place. So he's sociable, but you can tell he's a little more in and a little more subdued. He likes, being at home and kind of, being a little more of an introvert, and, inward. Same thing here. So this one, everything mainly is at the bottom. We got a couple things up here. This is kind of like everything's concentrated on, again, this is the more, on self and working on self, and this is more, working with others. So, it's kind of growing and taking care of yourself and, what this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go for. So I hope a lot of this makes sense. We're going to get a little more into what Mars means in your chart as far as love goes, and what Venus means in your chart as far as love goes. So definitely, again, hit the little bell so you get notifications of upcoming videos. And of course, hit the if I can speak, hit the subscribe button so you'll get notifications and see when my new video comes up anyway. So I hope you have a good one. I hope you find that one person that you can write these charts up and it comes out perfect for you. And I hope you enjoy. Have a good one. Bye.